Hi everyone, and welcome back to the next step of the Textract service. And in this video, I'm gonna start the realization of this small architecture that you are able to see on your screen. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna start building the Lambda function. If you remember last time, what we did, we used the Textract to see how we can extract the text information from any document or images. And over there I have actually shown that how we can extract the field information or the general text which has been displayed on the image and document, as well as the tabular information. Just remember that it can be extracted from PDF document as well as the images, right? So over there in the last video, what we did, we saw it manually, but obviously in the real time, we don't upload the document manually and then we run the service. That's not the norm. While working with these technologies, we always try to automate things. And in this solution, if you can see what I'm going to show you now, that how about if we build a solution where we can upload an image into S3 bucket, and that triggers an event to call the Lambda function, and then Lambda function will process that image and extract the information and store it into another folder within the same S3 bucket called output. And I'll change the name, so it's not input bucket and output bucket, although we can do the different buckets. It's just like we need to put a different reference. But what I did in this solution, I put different folders. So from one folder we're gonna upload the image, in the other folder we're gonna see the information gonna come through which has been extracted from the document or the image using the Textract. Textract internally use the Python library called TXR, sorry, Textract-TRP, and that library was built by someone from Amazon. So let me just drag it on this screen, and it's really a well-maintained Python library, very powerful and stable. And you can see we're going to use the similar code into our Lambda function, and the Textract service use this library internally while it is executing the functionality to extract the text from the image or the document. I would strongly recommend, if you have interest to build these sort of solution in your organization, please go through this API or the Python package. Very stable and very powerful API that's gonna really help you to build a solution that automatically detect and extract the information from the incoming document, like we have discussed in the other video. So by saying it, I think that's enough introduction. So like I mentioned, what we're gonna start with building the Lambda function. And in order to set up our Lambda function, we need to do a couple of things that I'm gonna show you as a prereq, and then we'll start adding the code into our Lambda function. So by saying it, let's jump into right now this one, I think. All right, so let me quickly go to my dev environment. So I'm in here, so you can see, let me hide the controls. Yeah, so let me open the Lambda function, and I'm going to create a new Lambda function, which I'm going to call extract text. Let me just use the images because in this demo I'm just going to do the image, and then later on we can use the PDF as well, just for the sake of demo, right? From image, and I'm going to use Python 3.11. Yeah, and I think everything remains same. I'm not going to change any other setting at this stage. We are good at the moment. For the role, let me just use, because I've already created a role for that. So let me see if I can use the existing role. So I'm going to use this role for this exercise, and the role normally allow a Lambda function to communicate with the other services, because sometimes you need to set up these permission. Otherwise, Lambda function is unable to communicate from other AWS services from the security perspective. So AWS permission is itself is a full fledged topic from the security perspective, and what you need to do to set up the communication between multiple services, which is obviously not part of this video. But you just need to keep in your mind that once you set up a Lambda function, you need to make sure it has the right permission. Otherwise, you're gonna face issue, right? But normally, if we create the IAM role as part of the Lambda function, it has some basic permissions as part of the Lambda function creation. But obviously, you need to create some additional permission, depends upon the solution that you are building, and it will work accordingly. If those permissions are missing, obviously Lambda function is gonna complain and gonna throw the error, which can be investigated and resolved by allocating right permission. All right, so I think we are good at this stage. Let me create a function. Now, one thing we're gonna do, because if you remember the concept of layer, if not, layers normally keep the additional libraries or packages that we want to use as part of our code. So in this one, like I showed you before, we are going to use the textract-trp Python package to extract the text from the image. So we need to include that as part of our Lambda function. So I've already downloaded it. What I'm gonna do, if I just expand it, and if I go to layers, right, so I've already have that in here. I have created it, so that's good that I have it. Let me see if I can delete and redo it for you guys. So let me just delete this one, because I just want to show you a completely blank experience where we don't have anything. Sometimes just take time to just refresh. Yeah, so it has gone. Let me create the function. So obviously I'm going to call it Textract TRP, same one. I'm going to upload the zip, and that zip is going to be, let me see quickly. So we are in the right folder, and you can see I've already downloaded that textract-trp. If you want, you can go to the website and you can download the same package in your system, because that is required or prereq for your Lambda function to work successfully. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the link for this zip file in the description. So if you want, you can download it. Let me just select it. Yeah, we are good with that. Compatible architecture, we're gonna use it with x84 architecture, and I'm using Python 3.11. Make sure you are selecting the right runtime environment for your library. Otherwise, obviously, it's gonna create trouble while it will call and try to use the library in your Lambda function, right? So I think we are pretty good at this stage with all the options. Let me hit create. It's gonna take a couple of seconds to create the library, so we are good. So you can see we have the similar library again. I have just created now. Let me just, so textract-trp is the same one as before. The only difference is I have recreated it. I delete the old one and recreate a new one for this demo. All right, so I think now we have a Lambda function. I've already created extract text from the image. So in this function, what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually put the code together just to show you bit by bit what we are trying to achieve as part of the Lambda function. Just make sure you are not going to remove that Lambda header in your code, because sometimes we develop the code in the Python environment and then we bring it across to the AWS environment. And because in our Python environment we don't have the Lambda handler, generally we call some other function, generally main, as a starting point of our code. So make sure you adjust your code before you import it into Lambda environment, right? So in my code I've already have the Lambda handler as it is, so it's not gonna be a problem. Let me start with the basic libraries. I'm just going to add some additional libraries, which is logging, which gonna log all the operations. Boto3, I've already introduced this in my previous video, so don't need to repeat that. Please feel free to watch the previous video where we have the introduction of Boto3. It actually helps us to interact with the AWS technology stack using Python, right? So if you like to build a solution using Python language that can interact with AWS services, the Boto3 is the library for your solution, and you have to learn that. Pretty simple library, very powerful, very mature, and recommended by AWS as well, right? If you remember, so we have already uploaded the Python package, and you can see because of that package, we are able to call that TRP, and from the TRP we are importing a class called document. I'm going to show you where we're going to use later on this document and what's the purpose of that. Your lib parser underscore plus, it's going to actually formulate the URI of our image that we're going to upload into our S3 bucket, and it will just extract the actual name, so it can work on that while we're going to call the respective function of the TRP. All right, so as a next step, let me just put some logger commands which can help us to log all the information into our CloudWatch, because that will help us to see, go and watch what happened as part of the Lambda function later in the CloudWatch environment. All right, so now it's time to change the Lambda function. I'm just going to take out all that code. So we have obviously Lambda handler, which is the starting point of calling the Lambda function. And the very first thing which I'm going to do, guess what? I'm going to enter the logger.information. Also, I'm going to, let me just copy that and then I will show you. Already copy the code. Let me just explain this code. By the way, this code is gonna available as part of the video, so you can download and you can work it by yourself as well. For record in event, so you can see record event is the parameter. What it's gonna do is gonna actually provide us the required information that has been triggered as part of the event that we're gonna configure in a moment, right? So and what that event would be that, okay, we're gonna upload an image into our S3 bucket. So we need the name of the bucket where we are uploading the information, the image, as well as the SRI or URI of the file that we are uploading, because we need these two things for our document object. And now you can see we are why we need the TRP library as part of our Lambda function, because TRP provide us the class called document, and that document actually help us to pass the document information, which is obviously image in this case, to our Textract package. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna call the dot analyze document. If you remember the Textract, let me quickly just open that Textract just to show you that how it is mapping with the AWS service. So if you remember in here, so that's the analyzed document. So what actually happened, Amazon AWS built this service based on the Textract API package, which is part of the Python packages, right? So Amazon Textract is nothing but more like, they encapsulate that package in the wrapper of the service, and now they are providing you that service so you can interact it by uploading the document, right? So we can we can automate, or we can build the same functionality using the Lambda function. The only difference is here you have to do everything manually, but in the Lambda function you have full provision to automate the code from end to end, right? So you're gonna see the similar part in the Lambda function. And guess what, in order to replicate the functionality of analyzed document, what we are doing, we are just calling the textract dot analyze document command, right? And this command actually receive an object based on the document class, and that document class requires the information that, okay, where that document is, what are the attributes. So we know it's the S3 object, and if it S3 object, what's the bucket name, and what's the key, which is actually the name of the image file that we are extracting from the bucket, right? Now, the second most important thing which we are passing is the feature type. So what we need to extract, do we need to extract the layout? Do we need to extract the forms, or do we need to extract the table, or we need to extract both, right? So that's what it defines, that okay, once the analyzed document extract the information, what information it needs to extract from your document. All right. And then last but not the least, once you have defined everything in here, what we're gonna do, we're gonna just pass the response object into my document class, and it will do the magic and return you the object that has all the extracted information, right? And if because we are only using one image, so it has one page, but if you have multi-page document, we're gonna actually traverse all the pages in the doc object, which has the page object, and in the page object we can get the respective information from the form or from the table objects, right? So it's a proper object-oriented hierarchy. We have the doc as a top, and then we underneath we have the fields. We have the form, and under the form we have all the field, and those will contain all the information for us in the key value in the key value format, right? So I think at this stage we are good with that information that we are extracting. I'm not gonna complicate this scenario. I think we are that's the enough code for that to work. All I need to just put now the catch statement, and our function is completed, at least from form's perspective. So what I'll do, let me just quickly copy the error statement. And there's only one thing remaining, which I'll just let you know. Let me quickly put the accept. Yeah, accept is here. So we have already extracted the information, but we need to add that information in the output bucket. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna first return the result as a success, and we're gonna put all the information back into our S3 bucket, and you can see I'm using the output folder. So that's why I have shown the output bucket separately into the architecture. So through the S3 object, I'm calling the put object command, which gonna actually put the response which I'm collecting into my response object. Let me see where I'm actually where I'm Here's my response. Yeah, I'm converting whatever information I'm getting. I'm converting it into JSON. So you can see it's converting into JSON, and I'm storing it into my S3 bucket, right? So that's a simple command to create the JSON file as an extract of the image into my S3 bucket folder, right? So everything is good. Now let me just close my function by calling the return statement, and we're good to go with the deployment. So if I come in here, so I think that's good. So that will be that's the level. Make sure you have a right indentation, otherwise it's gonna just create trouble for you. Okay, we are good. Yeah. Let's see. So our code is complete. We have built a code which gonna get the image file from the S3 bucket, and then it will call the analyze document to extract the information, and that information gonna come in the JSON format that you can store into another S3 folder, and you can also print it. So once we're gonna print it, it's gonna actually be part of the cloud watch log group, and that's why we are using logger to record all the information. All right, so I think we are in a good shape. Let me just deploy these changes. All right, so we have deployed them, and now the only thing as part of the architecture, if you remember, left, that we need to set up the S3 event for our Lambda function. So any object which has been loaded into my S3 bucket can trigger that Lambda function, right? Which is pretty simple. I'm going to show you how we can do it. If we come into the configuration, and if we click on trigger, let me add a trigger. So my source is going to be S3, and bucket, like I mentioned, AG invoice bucket demo. And instead of putting all the event, what I'm going to do, because based on the architecture, if any object has been uploaded or created into my S3 bucket, that only will trigger this Lambda function. And also, let me just restrict it to a particular input folder, otherwise gonna trigger on each folder. That might increase cost. You need to be quite vigilant while you are setting up these event configuration, because if you won't put a careful attention while you are configuring, it might trigger a recursive operation that increase a lot of cost, right? The cost is quite minimum if you look at the Lambda function call, but still it's gonna be some dollars that can cost you if you haven't actually pay attention in event configuration. So I'm only going to trigger if the image is coming under the input folder, and if it has the extension of PNG. So these are the two restrictions I'm putting on the objects which will be loaded as part of the S3 bucket. So anything if it is which is not coming into the input folder and doesn't have the .png, I'm not going to trigger my Lambda function for that, right? So let me quickly add it. Okay, where it is, why it is ambiguous, put input.png. Okay, I think I know where the problem is. Let me quickly go and because I've already created the same rule. So let me just take out that rule so we can see if we can. Just bear with me. Let me just quickly delete the old rule. Yeah, I don't need the old rule. Because I've already created exactly similar rule. My bucket is same, my folder is same, and even extension is same. That's where the Lambda function is confused, that you are triggering two Lambda function on the same event, which is gonna create ambiguity that which Lambda function it will execute, right? So I've just changed the previous one. So now we can see the S3 event has been created for us. So we can see once we upload the image into our S3 bucket, it's gonna trigger my extract function. All right. So just for a testing purpose, let me quickly go in here and let me see if I can prepare the S3 bucket for you guys. That's the last test that we need to do, and we'll see if we can bear with me. I'm just making sure we don't have the old objects in the bucket, so we can, yeah, we can clearly execute our scenario bucket. So you can see we have one bucket, AG invoice. And in the AG invoice, we have, let's see, yeah, no, it's just the resolution. So we can see input and output folder, right? Let me go inside the input. We don't have any object. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to upload the image. So if I come in here and I know where my images are, last time I remember I get them from, yeah, I get them from the other folder, and they are here. So let me take out one image so you can see employee 003, and it's a PNG image, and you can see it has been uploaded into the input bucket. So it should trigger my Lambda function. Let me hit upload. All right. So as soon as I have uploaded my file, let me quickly go and see if I am able to see my Lambda to be triggered, but also I can come in here and go to my output folder and see if I can extract if I can see the information extracted, right? So let me quickly download this file, and I'm gonna open it into I'm gonna upload open in the vcode. So how about if I just go in here and yes, I can trust. So you can see it has extracted all the information, line, recent order for Andrews Sassini. Let me see if it is the latest one. Right, so let's see if I can come in here. Looks like it hasn't. So that's the last one. All right, so let me see. For somehow it hasn't triggered the function. What could be the reason? Let me identify the reason, and I'll and we'll continue from. All right, guys. So what I did, I just identified for somehow the event is not triggered because Lambda function is failing. That's why we don't have the information in the CloudWatch as well. And generally, how we identify is because we cannot debug the Lambda function in this way. So we have the capabilities to run the Lambda function in the test environment, and then we can identify the error. So let me quickly run that, and you can see this is the command. I just need to provide the bucket name and the file that I have uploaded manually as part of this event. And now I'm going to test, and you can see we have the error. It's unable to identify TRP, which we have imported, and I've already provided the introduction. Now with TRP, if you can see, I forgot one step. I uploaded the package, but I haven't attached that package with my Lambda function. So what we're gonna do, let's scroll down, and once you scroll down in the code environment, or sorry, in the code tab, you're gonna see you have the layer option. So hit add a layer, select custom layer. Let me just select track Textract dash trp, and the version is going to be 1, and let me hit add. And there we go. Now we have this layer attached with my Lambda function. So there are two steps. In the layer screen, we uploaded the package, but we haven't attached the package with my Lambda function, which I did in this step. So I think we are now good. Let me just try again by uploading the document. So what I'm gonna do, let me quickly go back to my input folder. Let me just delete that because I just want to show you the end-to-end experience, how we are going to automate the Textract operation or solution using the Lambda and S3 bucket. So we are good. Let me now hit upload. Let me add file. And by the way, we don't have any information at the moment in the output folder. So yeah, I have uploaded it into my bucket. Let me click upload. And theoretically, it should trigger the Lambda function, and I do have the outcome into my S3 output folder. Let me just close it. And if I come in here, somehow I'm not able to see my output folder. Okay, about, let's see what's the error now. So that's good. We can test it and we can see if it is going to, S3 is not defined. All right, so we still have the error. That's fine. We can fix that. Okay, so I think what we are missing, we are using S3, but we haven't defined the S3 object. So in that case, let me see. Yeah, I think I know where I had missed that. Just going to define S3 and also my. So these are the two key piece of information. Sorry, I forgot to mention that S3 object, and that's it's unable to find. That's why it's complaining. And also I just realized output key, which is going to mention the output location for storing the result, that is also missing in the code. So it obviously is gonna give us the error on those. And how I identify, because I'm unable to see the output folder into my bucket, so that means the Lambda function is not working correctly. So I think now we are good, hopefully, finger crossed. Let me just go through and do one more time. Let me just delete it. It's always good to do live coding, so at least we know we learn together, because otherwise you might not get the live experience. All right, so let's hit upload. All right, so let me just close it. Yeah, we are in the input folder. Let me hit, and there we go. We have the output folder now. And if I come in here, that's my Textract response, which is gonna show me all the information or that the Lambda function has extracted from the image. And first of all, let me quickly show you the image so you can see what information is going to show you. How about if I can, am I able to preview? All right, yeah, we can preview it so you can see we're gonna have, because I'm using the field, so I'm gonna see all that information into my output file, right? So let me quickly come back in here. Let me just hit log group. So still have the log information. Let me see if I can find. It's still not showing in the log group, but that's fine. I'll figure it out why it's not showing in the log group. But at least we have the output folder. Let me go into my output folder. Let me just download that file. Or let me see if I can open it into a new. Okay, so in both cases, I have my. So if I come in here, that's the response. So you can see page, it has extracted all that information. Now, because I have already opened the image, so what I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you recent orders for Jan Kotas. Let's see if it is happened into recent order for Jan Kotas. So you can see it identified that part. And then if I come in here, these are, by the way, all the layout. If you don't need, we can still hide them. We have the custom options available. A text employee. All right, so that is good. Let me see if I can find the order date, order total. So it looks like it has extracted a lot of information as part of the extraction. Secondary phone, and the good thing is also showing you uh, the confidence score, that how much confident it is that the information is extracted is the same. So let me quickly show you secondary phone. So secondary phone is in here and that has empty, right? It's gonna have the job title as well. Let me first search the first name. How about if I just search it? And in the next video, we will see how we can filter out all that, garbage information, because we don't need the layout information. We'll see if we can, reduce the information just based on the key and value pair, which will be more easier for us to traverse. But at the moment, if I just go and find first name, so you can see we have the first name, and what would be the first name of this guy? So you can see first name is Jan. And if I quickly come in here, so look how accurately the extract the information from this document, right? Let me also search the quotas, which is obviously its last name. So if I come in here, quotas, so you can see we theoretically I think we should have two, right? So let me quickly go in here. There we go. Right, so we have quotas, because I'm just looking, and if I come in here, That's the last name, right? So with some metadata which is related to the layout, which we can safely suppress if we don't need it, but you can see how accurately it has extracted all the information. And by the way, I just remembered that I have dumped the response object, and response generally contain all the information as part of the analyzed document. We have the option that we can filter based on the fields and tables, and based on that we extract the respective part. But if we just dump the response object, if I quickly go back and just show you in here, so you can see in my function, I'm actually writing the response object into my output bucket, right? So that's the reason why I'm getting all the additional information as part of the actual extracted information. But if I don't need to, I can just, use these key value pairs to create the JSON output or CSV output, whatever output works for me. I can use that, right? That's not gonna be a big issue. It's going to be pretty simple coding in Python to convert the output into JSON, right? So I believe that makes sense. We have hit I think all the parts. So we build the Lambda function, we upload the file in the S3 bucket, and that triggered the Lambda function automatically, and that Lambda function use the Textract as well as the TRP Textract TRP package to extract the information and load the output or the extracted information in the S3 bucket. So that's the end-to-end solution. Now what we're gonna do as the next, right now you can see we have a lot of additional information coming as part of the JSON. We're gonna reduce it to just the field information. We can see exactly the information that we require as part of the document, and we also going to see how we can extract the tabular information only from the image. In the subsequent episode of this tutorial, we're gonna see how we can extract information from multi-page document, and last but not the least, we're gonna see as a bonus how we can store the DynamoDB the information into the DynamoDB. So I believe it will be helpful. We have a couple of hiccups while we are building the solution together, but that's the normal way of building the solution using any technology. I hope you like the live experience, and feel free to reach out if you have any question. Otherwise, more than happy to answer. If you have any additional question, please put in the comments, and I will respond. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.